We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the iPhone 15 lineup, which means I've been using this iPhone 15 Pro Max for almost 365 days straight. And yes, I know, I'm doing this a little bit early, but that's simply because next month we have new iPhones to consider purchasing, and so all of my time will be spent reviewing those phones. And I don't think my opinions are going to change much in the next few weeks. But in this video, we're going to go over how my iPhone 15 Pro Max is holding up over the last year, its wear and tear, and all of that, and if it's worth hanging on to for maybe another year or two, or upgrade to the next iPhone. So let's start with battery life, because I think that's probably one of the biggest differences after a year of use. My battery is obviously degrading. It happens, but how much? Well, I hate to even look at this section of battery health and settings because I don't know that it's like a clear one-to-one, oh, hey, your battery dropped this X amount, so this is how bad it is or whatever. But in this section, my battery maximum capacity is now at 89%. Feel free to drop what yours is in the comments down below and how long you've had your phone. Would love to hear from you. Obviously, I had 100% when I got it and when it was new. It's not always that easy to decipher what that means for me in real world use, but I can say that battery life has become noticeably worse over the last few months. Some of that might be in part due to the new iOS 18 beta that I'm running, and some of it is due to the change in my usage habits. I mean, I recently got a new car that has CarPlay for the very first time. I've never had a personal vehicle that has had CarPlay, or at least one that I drive on a daily basis. And that will eat up your battery. I never really realized that because, again, I never had it. It obviously uses your phone for all of the info, maps, streaming Spotify or whatever, and if you don't keep it constantly plugged in, which I do not, you're going to be draining your battery. So my phone is getting used quite a bit more than normal throughout the day just for that specific use case. The new beta features like Apple Intelligence, that's probably eating up a little bit of battery, and yeah, I mean, it's been used for almost a year straight, so obviously natural wear and tear to the battery. I expect it to get worse over time. I'm not sure if this is any faster than it normally should. To me, it feels like it has been, but you know, who knows. Now, I can still make it through an entire day if need be, if I'm a little conservative as well, but I often find myself now, just for peace of mind, charging around 3 or 4 p.m. so that I have enough battery for the rest of the evening, especially if I'm going to be doing something out and about. Usually I'm at about 40% around that 2 to 4 p.m. window. So I toss it on a fast charger and get it back all the way up to like 80% pretty quickly, and I have enough for the rest of the night. Other than that, I exclusively charge my phone wirelessly every single night at bed. Not sure if wireless versus wired would show any actual real world differences. Again, let me know in the comments what you do, what your maximum capacity is at, but I just wanted to point out what I do. The build quality of the iPhone 15 Pro Max has been spectacular. I've been a huge fan of the new titanium frame, did not love stainless steel and all of the fingerprints that it shows. I think this looks a lot classier, and I think it's holding up really, really well. I had a ton of scratches on the stainless steel, and I barely can notice any like major scratches on the titanium. Obviously, there are some nicks and dents from when I've dropped it, but all things considered, and for not using a case for the entire year, I think it looks pretty good. There could be far more damage to this phone, but it's just built really well, and it definitely can withstand some minor drops and scrapes. The screen, on the other hand, not so much. I mean, I feel like there could be more here. Obviously, it's really excellent at not breaking when you drop it, but scratches can happen without even trying. I mean, I usually use a tempered glass screen protector. I'd say over the last year, 90% of that has had a screen protector on this phone. Right now, I don't, and I've noticed so many larger, deep scratches and micro scratches, and I just have no idea where that comes from. But hey, at least it's better than cracking. iPhone screens have kind of always been like this over the last few years, and it's just not something out of the ordinary, but for me, what bothers me the most is seeing those scratches on the screen. I can live with a few nicks on the side, but the screen for some reason always gets me. USB-C is still something that I love having, but I still hate that we are at least a few years away from the majority of other iPhone users getting it on their phones. I still run into that issue on a daily basis. Someone asks me for a charger, and I don't have Lightning available for them, or vice versa. They may not have a USB-C cable because they use Lightning for everything. We'll get there, slowly but surely, but it can get frustrating. The action button is honestly something that I do use every single day. I never thought I'd actually say this because after a while, I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do with it. But it's probably one of the more boring use cases. There's so much that you can do with this button, truly, especially if you use shortcuts. Or in the future with iOS 18, developers can add their own control center quick toggles, and those quick toggles can actually be used for the action button. So it will get even more expansive. But I use it to launch the camera app. I use it constantly. I love doing it this way. It's so much faster for me. And I hate that I'm wasting its powers on something so simple, but I honestly need a button to launch the camera app. I'm just programmed that way now, and I love it, and I don't want to go back. Now, there are rumors of a capture button on the iPhone 16 lineup, and honestly, if it can launch and control your camera functions, then I definitely will need some suggestions on what I should do with my action button, since now it'll be officially free. The A17 Pro Chip, that has been great, but I can't pinpoint any specific aspect of my daily use where I am noticing that chip is doing more to make any one experience better. I'm sure it's out there, and I'm sure there are things. I just can't think of anything. iPhone's performance have always been fantastic for me. I'm not noticing anything dramatically better or worse this year that's not due to some beta bug. It's been consistently good, which is all that you can hope and ask for. So if you're worried about performance, please don't be. It's amazing. The cameras on the back, those are still excellent. Almost nothing's changed here. I wouldn't have expected it. I have done countless videos on the camera and the photos in much detail, so if you want to see that, I'll hopefully leave some linked in the description down below where you can check that out. But I think it's been a rock-solid camera system, and I'm looking forward to the rumored camera improvements to the ultra-wide camera this year, as well as even further zoom capabilities with the telephoto camera. Other than that, it's pretty much been a fantastic phone. It's been rock solid over the last 340-ish to 65 days. And if you're subsidizing this phone, you'll understand that the difference between the regular iPhone 15 and the 15 Pro is probably not that much more to where I would say, hey, don't do it. It's definitely worth it, in my opinion, to pay that for the premium build and materials and some of those premium features. But do I think it's worth going up to the new iPhone 16 Pro Max after 1 year? Kind of depends on everybody's use case and what you think about the next generation. That's a must-have for you, but personally for me, I'm not seeing anything in the rumor mill that is warning a new phone after 1 year. I think this could make it another 2-3 years. We'll see what the iPhone 17 is like, but if you got an iPhone 14 or older and you're thinking about upgrading, 15 is going to be rock solid. As I mentioned, it's a great phone. I'm not sure if that's worth it for you. Maybe if you've got like a 12 or 13, take a look at that iPhone 16, kind of weigh your opinions and see what you might want. But I'm happy with the iPhone 15. If you can get it at a good price, I think you'll love it. And yeah, it's been so good so far. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. If you have one, how's your experience been? If you don't have one, but you're looking at getting it, have I helped you make a decision? Go ahead and let me know down in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.